I can't imagine that anybody could be doing more.
We'll get through this together. We'll live carefully, but not afraid.
I'm Donald J. Trump, and I approve this message.
So that was the ad right there that we just played coming in that Dr. Fauci's all up in arms about. And he went on Jake Tapper, cut 9G, to complain. Well, not to complain, but he went on Jake Tapper, and Jake asked him about it. And here's Dr. Fauci. Roll that.
I do have to ask you about this Trump campaign advertisement where you're on camera saying, quote, I can't imagine that anybody could be doing more. You quickly came out with a statement that noted that sentence had been taken out of context. You were talking about the whole of government response, not President Trump. And, of course, you've never endorsed a presidential candidate in your 5 years.
The whole of government response, how is that much different than President Trump moved? There was no PPE. There was no, not respirators, but there was no respirators either.
Ventilators.
I'm sorry? No ventilators. He brought together private-public partnership. He moved ships where we were told he couldn't move ships. He built hospitals where we were told he couldn't build hospitals. He did more for New York and California than they could have asked for. All the governors said what a job he was doing. So what do you mean whole of government response? The whole of government is the president. Without him, who makes the decisions? So that's where I start with Jake Tapper trying to frame this as somehow Fauci was talking about, you hear the president talk about the vaccines. What does he say? Well, that's because I pushed these people like no one's ever pushed them. So that's him. So I'm not sure what he's saying. So, well, no, you weren't talking about the president. You were talking about the whole of government response. Well, the president is the whole of government response. In this situation, everything went through him. Go ahead.
Decades of public service. Should the Trump campaign take this ad down?
I think so, Jake. I think it's really unfortunate and really disappointing that they did that. It's so clear that I'm not a political person, and I have never either directly or indirectly endorsed a political candidate. And to take a completely out of context statement and put it in, which is obviously a political campaign ad, I thought was really very disappointing.
What would you say if I told you I heard that the Trump campaign was actually preparing to do another ad featuring you?
That would be terrible. I mean, that would be outrageous if they do that. In fact, that might actually come back to backfire on them. I hope they don't do that, because that would be kind of playing a game that we don't want to play. So I hope they reconsider that. If, in fact, they are indeed considering doing that, I hope that they reconsider and not do that.
So, G, while I'm talking, pull up the actual commercial that you just played as a bump in and try to find the part where Fauci talks. And then because first of all, the idea that he's not a political person is, as Paul just did, laugh out loud funny. This guy's a 50-year bureaucrat, deep state in the government, done nothing but that. I understand what he does, but what is he talking about? Guy's hugging Hillary Clinton and all these other things and all these pictures and everything else. He's not a political person.
It's comical.
I mean, that is comical. So, really? Go ahead.
No, it's just pathetic. I mean, this guy has been a shill for the pharmaceutical companies forever. I mean, he's plugging his stock picks, and saying it'll save your life. And, he's watching shares of Remdesivir pop up, and then, 2 days later, he shorts it. It's a joke. It's a joke.
Well, we don't have any proof of that, but I understand what you're saying.
Guess.
So let's go. Here's the part in the commercial that Fauci. So roll that. The commercial part.
I can't imagine that anybody could be doing more.
Okay, so stop it. So now let's go to 7. Cut 7, G. So here's the actual clip that was used. Dr. Fauci appeared on Life, Liberty, and Levin. And here's the question, and here's the answer. Roll it.
Dr. Fauci, let me ask you a question. You've been doing this a long time. Have you ever seen this big of a coordinated response by an administration to such a threat, a health threat?
Well, we've never had a threat like this, and the coordinated response has been, there are a number of adjectives to describe it. Impressive, I think, is one of them. I mean, we're talking about all hands on deck. Is that I, as one of many people on a team, I'm not the only person,
since the beginning that we even recognized what this was, I have been devoting almost full time on this, almost full time. I'm down at the White House virtually every day with the task force. I'm connected by phone throughout the day and into the night. When I say night, I'm talking 12, 1, 2 in the morning. I'm not the only one. There's a whole group of us that are doing that. It's every single day. So I can't imagine that under any circumstances that anybody could be doing more. I mean, obviously, we're fighting a formidable enemy, this virus. This virus is a serious issue here.
The Trump camp should use that whole clip.
So what do you think he's referring to when he says that line? He's clearly referring to the administration. What else could he be referring to? Just him and his buddies at the CDC? Well, who is he referring to? Of course he's referring to the administration as a whole. And that means the president.